Today we're showing you how to plant a 1-inch caliper 15-gallon container tree. You're ready to go if you've called 811 3 business days prior to digging. First, you'll want to measure the tree so that you know how big to dig your hole. The hole should be twice as wide as the container and only as deep as the container. Use your shovel to measure. Next, dig the hole. Digging the hole is the most labor-intensive part of the process, but depending on the soil conditions, it should take 2 people no more than 20 to 30 minutes. It helps to keep the top sod or grass separate from the straight dirt or soil. We can use the sod at the end to build a small berm. Don't be afraid to really use your weight while you're digging by jumping on or pushing your weight against the shovel. You'll want to remeasure the hole before placing your tree in it and adjust the size of the hole if you need to. Before planting, we recommend watering your hole and letting the water drain. This helps the soil settle and removes air pockets. Next, cut the strings off your tree. Carefully set it on its side and remove any strings or wrappings before propping the tree up. Some species are particularly tall, and you wouldn't be able to reach the strings if you forgot this step. Then, loosen the root bulb by gently rolling the container to loosen the tree. Carefully pull the tree out. You might need to cut around the container if that's easier. You can use heavy-duty scissors, a box cutter, or a sharp pocket knife. It's helpful for one person to do the cutting while the other steps back for this part of the process. Container trees are likely to have what's called girdled roots, which are roots circling around the outside of the root ball in a circle. We don't want the roots to continue growing in a circle. We want them to grow outwards. So we'll want to loosen up these roots using our hands, and if the roots are extra tight and you're unable to loosen them, you can carefully use a knife to cut a few vertical slits on the root ball. You can also cut an X shape on the bottom of the root ball if needed. Your tree will begin to grow lots of new roots after the winter when the growing season begins in about April or May. Don't be afraid to really get in there and break up the roots when you're planting a container tree. Next, find the root flare. This is going to be the first major root that starts to grow outwards from the trunk of the tree in a sloping shape. This is what you want to be at ground level or a few inches above ground level. You might have to dig around to find the root flare. This is important. You don't want to plant your tree too deep. Next, place the tree in the hole using 2 people. Make sure your tree is standing up straight at this part. You'll probably want to back up and check out the angle of the tree from multiple perspectives. If it's just a little bit tilted due to the shape of the tree itself, that's okay. It will straighten out as it grows. Usually you want one person holding the trunk steady while the other person begins to backfill the hole. The person holding the tree can let go once it's stable. Now it's time to fill the hole back up. While backfilling the hole, you want to lightly compact the soil. You can use your shovel to compact the soil, or you could use your foot. But if you use your foot, just use it lightly with your toe maybe. You don't want to stamp down on the soil too much. You can also break up any large clay or dirt clumps as you go. This is extra credit, but it helps to settle the soil if you can water once more when you're about halfway through backfilling the soil. With your leftover sod or any dirt you might still have, build a small berm around the base of the tree, around near the edges of the root ball. Do not build this in a volcano shape with the dirt piled at the base of the tree trunk. You want a berm shape instead. After your tree is in the ground, again, make sure that the root flare is right at ground level or 1 to 2 inches above ground level. When you're done, water one more time, not necessarily because the tree needs it right now, but because you want to settle in its new home. Check one more time to make sure that root flare is ground level or 1 to 2 inches above ground level. Lastly, you'll want a thin layer of mulch around the base of the tree. Don't pile it up around the base of the trunk. You actually don't want your mulch touching the trunk at all. Think again more like a berm shape and not a volcano. Mulch helps with water retention and prevents weed growth around the base of the tree so that lawnmowers and weed whackers don't need to get too close to the tree. And there you go, you've planted a tree and you are part of the citywide movement to restore Nashville's canopy. This video is brought to you by the Root Nashville campaign, an initiative of the Cumberland River Compact.